wealthy CEO attends a baby shower alone, shocked to see his ex-wife with kids who look like him. Across the room, near the dessert display, stands a woman in a stunning emerald dress. Her laugh carries above the crowd, that same musical sound that once filled his mansion with joy. Aaliyah Thompson Blackwell, the ex-wife who divorced him claiming she needed space to find herself, glows with radiant happiness as she cradles twin toddlers against her chest. Have you ever trusted someone completely, only to have that trust shattered in the most devastating way? Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. Warm welcome to the family. Enjoy the story. The billionaire tech CEO adjusts his signature sapphire blue Armani suit as he steps through the marble entrance of the Ritz-Carlton's penthouse ballroom. Marcus Blackwell, just 24 years old, expects nothing more than another tedious social obligation. Smile, congratulate his business partner on the new baby, write a generous check, and escape back to his office where billion-dollar deals feel easier than small talk. What would you do if you discovered your greatest loss was actually your biggest lie? Have you ever trusted someone completely, only to have that trust shattered in the most devastating way? Marcus is about to face the ultimate betrayal from the person he loved most. Will he confront her publicly, or will he choose a different path? Stay with me to find out. The Forbes' youngest billionaire moves through clusters of champagne-sipping tech executives and their designer-dressed wives. His revolutionary social media analytics company transformed a college dorm room idea into a global empire worth $3 billion. Everyone knows his story. The genius who cracked the code on predictive social behavior. The philanthropist who gives away millions while living in a glass penthouse overlooking Silicon Valley. But nobody knows about the emotional fortress he built 2 years ago. Nobody talks about the nights he stares at empty picture frames, wondering what his children would have looked like. Nobody mentions how he still pays $15,000 monthly to his ex-wife, believing guilt demands this penance for causing her miscarriage. The ballroom buzzes with conversations about stock options and startup valuations. Crystal chandeliers cast dancing light across marble floors where San Francisco's tech elites celebrate another addition to their exclusive circle. Marcus navigates toward the gift table, his mind already calculating when he can politely leave. Then he freezes. Across the room, near the dessert display, stands a woman in a stunning emerald dress. Her laugh carries above the crowd, that same musical sound that once filled his mansion with joy. Aaliyah Thompson Blackwell, the ex-wife who divorced him claiming she needed space to find herself, glows with radiant happiness as she cradles twin toddlers against her chest. Marcus's champagne glass trembles. The children have unmistakable piercing blue eyes, his eyes. Their tiny chins bear the distinctive cleft that marks every Blackwell male for generations. The little girl reaches for her mother's earrings with delicate fingers that mirror Marcus's own hands. The boy babbles in cadences that sound hauntingly familiar. These are his children. The babies Aaliyah swore died during their divorce proceedings. The loss that destroyed him sent him spiraling into depression and convinced him he killed his own family through selfish ambition. But here they are, alive and beautiful, calling another man daddy while their real father has spent 2 years grieving ghosts. Marcus stumbles backward, his chest constricting. The ballroom feels like it's closing in. Conversations blur into meaningless noise. His legs carry him toward the exit while his mind struggles to process the impossible truth. In the parking garage, he grips his steering wheel with white knuckles, staring back at the building where his stolen children laugh with strangers. If this story has you questioning how well you really know the people closest to you, hit that like button and let me know in the comments. 2 years earlier, 19-year-old Aaliyah Thompson adjusted her borrowed Valentino dress in the charity gala's restroom mirror. The coral silk, the only expensive item she owned after months of saving, would either change her life tonight or leave her returning to 3 minimum wage jobs and crushing medical school debt. She studied her reflection with calculating precision. The dress highlighted her dark skin beautifully. Her natural hair formed a perfect crown. Diamond earrings borrowed from her roommate completed the illusion of belonging among San Francisco's elite philanthropy crowd. Aaliyah had researched every major donor attending tonight's pediatric cancer fundraiser. She memorized their companies, their interests, their relationship statuses. But one name stood out above all others. Marcus Blackwell, 22-year-old tech prodigy worth over $1 billion, recently featured on magazine covers as America's most eligible bachelor. The ballroom glittered with wealth beyond her imagination. Women wore jewelry worth more than her family's annual income. Men discussed business deals that could fund entire university departments. Aaliyah moved through the crowd with practiced confidence, her pre-med knowledge allowing her to contribute meaningfully to conversations about the evening's cause. Then she spotted him. Marcus stood near the auction display, examining a vintage watch while speaking with older executives. His navy blue suit fit perfectly across broad shoulders. When he laughed at someone's joke, genuine warmth reached his eyes. Here was a billionaire who hadn't let success corrupt his basic decency, exactly what she'd hoped to find. Their introduction happened naturally when she bid aggressively on a medical school scholarship auction item. Marcus noticed her passion for education and struck up a conversation about healthcare innovation. Within an hour, they were debating pharmaceutical patents over champagne, her borrowed dress forgotten as intellectual chemistry sparked between them. He was brilliant, kind, and completely captivated by her ambition. When Marcus offered to drive her home, Aaliyah made her first strategic decision. She gave him her real address in a modest apartment she shared with 2 roommates, not the fake luxury address she prepared. Authenticity, she realized, would be her greatest weapon. Their whirlwind romance played out like a fairy tale. Marcus paid off her student loans, supported her medical school dreams, and moved her into his mansion within 8 months of marriage. She attended board meetings in designer clothes, hosted charity events in their ballroom, and played the perfect billionaire's wife while secretly planning her ultimate move. The pregnancy was unexpected, but became the final piece of her strategy. For 5 months, she played the glowing, expectant mother while researching exactly how to disappear with maximum financial benefit. Late-night phone calls weren't to girlfriends. They were to Dr. Patricia Reynolds, a corrupt medical professional willing to falsify records for the right price. When Aaliyah demanded the divorce, claiming she felt trapped in a golden cage, Marcus's devastation was genuine and complete. His guilt over her supposed miscarriage made him agree to every financial demand without question. $2 million plus $15,000 monthly. Enough to secure her future while raising his children in comfortable secrecy. The plan she hatched would destroy Marcus while securing her future forever. Present-day Marcus sits in his glass-walled corner office, 40 floors above San Francisco's financial district. 3 massive monitors display real-time data from his social media analytics empire. Engagement rates, demographic patterns, behavioral predictions that help Fortune 500 companies understand human nature better than most psychologists. His assistant Catherine brings the morning coffee in his preferred ceramic mug, not the disposable cups that fill most executives' desks. Small details matter when you've built your fortune on understanding what makes people tick. The irony isn't lost on him that he can predict millions of strangers' behaviors, but couldn't see his own wife's deception. Across town, Aaliyah buckles 3-year-old Emma and Ethan into car seats for their pediatrician appointment. The twins chatter excitedly about their upcoming birthday party, their bright voices filling her luxury SUV with innocent joy. Emma clutches a medical kit toy, already showing signs of following her mother's healthcare path. Ethan builds intricate block towers that remind Aaliyah painfully of Marcus's engineering mind. "Mommy, why do we have your last name and not Daddy James's name?" Emma asks with the brutal honesty of childhood. Aaliyah's hands tighten on the steering wheel. "Because you're my special babies and Mommy wanted you to have her name," she answers, the practice life flowing smoothly after 2 years of repetition. Back in his office, Marcus reviews expansion plans for his company's European operations. Success has become his only reliable companion. Board meetings, investor calls, product launches. Anything that drowns out the silence of his penthouse where empty bedrooms wait for children who will never come home. His therapist, Dr. Williams, suggested grief counseling groups for parents who've lost children. Marcus attended 3 sessions before realizing that other parents' genuine losses made his guilt unbearable. How do you mourn babies that died because of your failures as a husband? At the pediatrician's office, Aaliyah watches her twins play with educational toys while waiting for their checkup. Other mothers make small talk about preschools and playdates. She smiles and participates, but always maintains careful distance. Too many questions about their father might expose inconsistencies in her story. Mrs. Thompson, the children are remarkably advanced for their age, Dr. Martinez observes during the appointment. Emma's vocabulary is exceptional, and Ethan's spatial reasoning skills are quite impressive. Strong genetics. Aaliyah nods, avoiding eye contact. Those genetics come from a brilliant father who has no idea his children exist. Later that afternoon, Marcus walks through Union Square's shopping district, heading to a meeting at a nearby hotel. The crowded sidewalks force him into weaving patterns around families with strollers, couples holding hands, children running ahead of patient parents. 2 blocks away, Aaliyah emerges from a toy store with Emma and Ethan, their arms full of early birthday presents. The twins spot a street performer and beg to watch his magic show. For 30 seconds, Marcus and Aaliyah stand less than 50 feet apart. He's checking his phone for the hotel address. She's digging through her purse for dollar bills to tip the performer. Both sense something familiar in their peripheral vision, but never make the connection that would change everything. That evening, Marcus's facial recognition algorithm flags an unusual pattern in social media photos. Children appearing in background shots who bear striking resemblances to him. Marcus's hands shake as he stares at his phone screen outside the Ritz-Carlton. 20 minutes have passed since he fled the baby shower, but the image of those blue eyes, in his children's faces burns behind his closed eyelids. He could drive away, pretend this never happened. Let Aaliyah continue her perfect deception while he returns to his empty penthouse and billion-dollar distractions. But those children deserve to know their father. The elevator ride back to the penthouse ballroom feels eternal. Each floor marker lights up like a countdown to confrontation. Marcus adjusts his tie, straightens his shoulders, and prepares for the most important conversation of his life. The party continues in full swing. Laughter echoes across marble floors where tech executives celebrate new life while Marcus prepares to reclaim his stolen children. He spots Aaliyah near the champagne fountain, the twins now playing with building blocks on a nearby sofa while she chats with other guests. His approach cuts through the crowd like a predator stalking prey. Other guests notice his focused intensity, conversations pausing as he passes. Aaliyah senses the disturbance and turns just as Marcus reaches her circle. Their eyes meet for the first time in 2 years. Her champagne glass slips from nerveless fingers, crystal shattering against marble with a sound that silences nearby conversations. Color drains from her face as recognition and terror war in her expression. The confident socialite mask crumbles, revealing the frightened girl underneath her designer dress. "Hello, Aaliyah," Marcus says quietly, his voice carrying dangerous calm. "Beautiful children. They have my eyes." She opens her mouth, but no sound emerges. The twins look up from their blocks, curious about the tall man in the blue suit who makes their mother look scared. "Daddy, who's the man?" Emma asks James Morrison, Aaliyah's current boyfriend, who stands frozen beside her. Marcus's jaw clenches at hearing his daughter call another man daddy. "We need to talk," he tells Aaliyah, his tone leaving no room for argument. Privately, they move to a quiet corner near floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Marcus keeps his voice low, but his words cut like surgical instruments. 2 years, Aaliyah. 2 years I've been paying you alimony while grieving children you told me were dead. How much did you spend on falsifying those medical records?" "Marcus, I can explain." "Explain what?" "How you destroyed me. How you stole my children and let me believe I killed them." His control wavers, raw pain bleeding through anger. Do you have any idea what you did to me? Aaliyah glances desperately around the room, realizing that other guests are watching their intense conversation. Please, not here. Not in front of everyone. Where then? Your fake address? Or should I contact you through your lawyer who helped orchestrate this fraud? They're happy, she whispers desperately. They're healthy and happy. Isn't that what matters? Marcus stares at her for a long moment. This woman who once owned his heart and destroyed his soul. DNA tests, he says finally. Court-ordered custody evaluation. And every penny of that fraudulent alimony returned with interest. He turns toward his children, memorizing their faces before walking away. What would you do in Marcus's position? Let me know your thoughts below. Monday morning arrives with the fury of legal paperwork flooding Aaliyah's mailbox. Marcus didn't waste time on empty threats. By 8 a.m., court documents demand DNA testing, custody evaluation, and full financial audit of their divorce settlement. His attorney, Rebecca Chun, has a reputation for destroying opponents who underestimate her Harvard law precision. Aaliyah's hands tremble as she reads the civil fraud accusations while Emma and Ethan eat breakfast, blissfully unaware their world is about to explode. The twins argue over who gets the last strawberry, their innocent laughter a stark contrast to the legal warfare beginning around them. Her phone buzzes constantly. Reporters, lawyers, old friends who've seen social media posts about the tech billionaire's shocking family discovery. She lets every call go to voicemail while panic builds in her chest like rising floodwater. In his downtown office, Marcus reviews the private investigator's preliminary report with Rebecca Chun. Thomas Wade specializes in high-stakes family cases, and his findings paint a devastating picture of Aaliyah's deception. She's been living in Marin County under her maiden name, Thomas explains, spreading photographs across the conference table. Expensive neighborhood, private preschool for the twins, luxury car payments, all funded by your alimony checks. Rebecca takes notes with mechanical precision. The medical fraud alone carries federal charges. Dr. Patricia Reynolds has been under FBI investigation for falsifying records in multiple custody cases. Your ex-wife chose the wrong accomplice. Marcus studies photos of his children playing in a backyard he's never seen. Emma pushes Ethan on a swing set while Aaliyah watches from a deck chair, her face relaxed and happy. The domestic scene should bring joy, but instead it represents 2 years of stolen moments he can never recover. His phone rings with Aaliyah's number for the 5th time today. This time, he answers. Marcus, please, we need to talk rationally about this. Her voice carries forced calm over barely controlled hysteria. The children are scared. They don't understand why strangers are calling asking about their father. Their father? Marcus's voice drops to Arctic temperatures. You mean the father you told them was dead? Or the father you've been systematically erasing from their lives while cashing his support checks? I was protecting them. From what? From having a father who loves them? From financial security? From knowing their real identity? Each word hits like a physical blow. You destroyed 3 lives for money, Aaliyah. 3 lives. Silence stretches between them, filled with years of lies and betrayal. The DNA tests will prove their mind. Marcus continues. The financial records will prove your fraud. The medical investigation will prove your conspiracy. You have one chance to minimize the damage. Full confession and voluntary surrender of custody. I won't give up my children. They were never just your children. And after 2 years of deception, they're barely your children at all. He ends the call and stares out his office window at the city where his stolen family lives just miles away. Court papers have been filed. The truth is coming out. And Aaliyah's perfect crime is finally falling apart. By Wednesday morning, #billionaire betrayal explodes across social media platforms with the unstoppable force of a digital wildfire. Tech industry blogs pick up leaked court documents, transforming Marcus and Aaliyah's private nightmare into public entertainment for millions of strangers. Tech Titan discovers secret twins after 2 years of fake grief, screams TechCrunch's headline. Forbes follows with the $2 million deception, how a gold digger fooled Silicon Valley's golden boy. Every major news outlet dissects their relationship like vultures picking clean a roadside carcass. Marcus watches his company's stock price fluctuate wildly on trading screens while his executive team handles crisis management calls. Blackwell Analytics drops 12% in pre-market trading as investors worry about their CEO's stability. By lunch, it recovers 8% as public sympathy swings toward the betrayed father fighting for his stolen children. Catherine, his assistant, fields interview requests from 60 Minutes, Good Morning America, and every major network. Sir, CNN wants an exclusive. They're offering primetime placement. She reports while Marcus stares at trending hashtags about his personal life. Across town, Aaliyah peers through closed blinds at news vans lining her quiet residential street. Reporters camp outside Emma and Ethan's preschool, shouting questions that confuse teachers. Her neighbors, who knew her as quiet single mother Sarah Thompson, discover their friend has been living a multi-million-dollar lie. The twins don't understand why they can't play in their backyard. Emma asks why people with cameras want to take their picture. Ethan cries when strange voices shout questions through their front door about the mean daddy who wants to take you away. Private investigator Thomas Wade presents his complete findings to Marcus and Rebecca Shaw. Bank records show Aaliyah's elaborate financial shell game. Alimony payments funding luxury lifestyle, while she collects additional income from James Morrison, her contractor boyfriend who believes he's supporting a widow and her children. She's been triple dipping, Thomas explains, pointing to financial documents. Your alimony, Morrison's contributions, and government assistance she obtained using falsified single mother status. The fraud runs deeper than we had initially calculated. Social media divides into warring camps. Team Marcus supporters flood his company's pages with messages of support and demands for justice. Team Aaliyah defenders claim desperate young mothers deserve protection from wealthy men who use children as property. Death threats appear in both camps' comment sections. Dr. Patricia Reynolds, the corrupt physician who falsified Aaliyah's miscarriage records, faces federal charges in an unrelated case involving 12 other families. Her medical license gets suspended pending investigation, and prosecutors offer plea deals for testimony against co-conspirators. Aaliyah's phone buzzes with unknown numbers. Reporters offering money for exclusive interviews. Lawyers promising to represent her against Marcus's vindictive legal assault, and former medical school classmates expressing shock at her deception. James Morrison confronts Aaliyah in their living room while the twins nap upstairs. 2 years, Sarah, or should I call you Aaliyah now? 2 years I've been helping raise another man's kids while you collected money from their real father? What kind of person does that? She watches through the window as another news crew sets up equipment on her front lawn. Her perfect suburban sanctuary has become a prison surrounded by cameras and judgment. Her criminal defense attorney calls with devastating news. The FBI wants to interview her about Dr. Reynolds' medical fraud conspiracy. The walls are closing in from every direction. 3-year-old Emma stands at her bedroom window, watching strangers with cameras gather on their front lawn like hungry wolves. Mommy, why are those people taking pictures of our house? Do we do something bad? Aaliyah kneels beside her daughter, searching for words that might protect innocence from adult cruelty. How do you explain to a toddler that her entire identity is built on lies? That the comfortable life she's always known exists because mommy stole her from her real father? Sometimes grown-ups get confused about things, baby. These people think they need to take pictures to help figure it out. Aaliyah whispers, pulling Emma close while her heart breaks. Ethan emerges from his afternoon nap, clutching his favorite stuffed elephant, the one Marcus would have bought him if he'd known his son existed. The little boy's piercing blue eyes, identical to his father's, scan the room with unusual seriousness for someone barely 3 years old. Where's Daddy James? You didn't read stories last night. Ethan asks, his small voice carrying confusion that cuts through Aaliyah like glass shards. James Morrison packed his belongings and left yesterday after learning the truth. 2 years of believing he was building a family with a widow, and her children vanished when reporters revealed Aaliyah's billionaire ex-husband who thought his twins were dead. Across the city, Marcus sits in child psychologist Dr. Maria Santos' office, learning how to approach traumatized children who don't know he exists. Her diplomas line mahogany walls, but her gentle manner suggests genuine care beyond professional credentials. They've lived their entire conscious lives believing their father abandoned them or died, Dr. Santos explains. Sudden revelations about paternity can cause severe attachment disorders, especially when accompanied by media attention and family disruption. Marcus studies child development books like he once analyzed market trends. Everything about parenting feels foreign after missing the first 3 years of his children's lives. What if they reject me? What if they're happy with their current situation and see me as the villain disrupting their world? Children adapt remarkably well to truth, Mr. Blackwell. It's deception that damages them long-term. Your presence in their lives offers stability their mother's lies cannot provide. Meanwhile, Aaliyah attempts normal routines while their world collapses. She reads bedtime stories about families and happy endings while knowing their happy ending is about to shatter. Emma asks why the people on television keep saying bad things about mommy. Ethan wonders if the tall man in the blue suit from the party will come back. The twins discover a newspaper someone threw over their fence. Emma's advanced reading skills allowing her to sound out headline words, billionaire and secret and daddy. She shows the paper to Ethan, pointing at Marcus's photo. That's the man from the party, Ethan whispers. The one who looked like us. Aaliyah finds them studying the newspaper in their playroom. Their innocent faces processing information no 3-year-old should handle alone. The photograph shows Marcus in his signature blue suit, looking powerful and determined. Everything their sheltered world has never included. Is that our real daddy? Emma asks with devastating directness. Aaliyah's carefully constructed lies crumble under her daughter's piercing gaze. The truth she's hidden for 3 years demands acknowledgement from 2 children who deserve better than the deception that created their lives. Friday morning arrives with federal agents knocking on Aaliyah's door while Emma and Ethan eat cereal at their kitchen table. FBI agent Sarah Chun presents a warrant for financial records related to Dr. Patricia Reynolds' medical fraud investigation. The twins watch wide-eyed as strangers in suits photograph documents and computer equipment. Emma clutches her medical kit toy, as if playing doctor might make sense of the chaos surrounding them. Ethan hides behind Aaliyah's legs, his small hands gripping her jeans with desperate strength. Ma'am, you're not under arrest, but we strongly advise you to contact legal counsel immediately. Agent Chin states while her partner loads boxes of evidence into government vehicles. By noon, Aaliyah realizes her only option is escape. She packs hastily while the twins nap, throwing essentials into suitcases and emptying what remains of her checking account. Canada offers potential sanctuary, no extradition for civil fraud, and she has distant relatives in Toronto who might provide temporary shelter. The drive to San Francisco International Airport feels like fleeing toward salvation. Emma and Ethan think they're going on vacation, chattering excitedly about airplanes and new places. Aaliyah's hands shake on the steering wheel as she considers starting over in a foreign country with 2 children who will eventually learn their entire lives were built on lies. Airport security stops them at the gate. Ma'am, we have a court order preventing these children from leaving the country pending custody proceedings. The TSA supervisor explains while Aaliyah's world collapses completely. You'll need to return to the main terminal. The twins sense their mother's panic, Emma beginning to cry, while Ethan asks why they can't get on the airplane. Other passengers stare at the small family drama playing out in the boarding area, some recognizing Aaliyah from news coverage. Marcus receives Rebecca Chen's call while in a board meeting. She tried to flee to Canada with your children. Airport security has them detained. 20 minutes later, Marcus stands in the international terminal, seeing his children for only the second time in their lives. Emma and Ethan sit in uncomfortable plastic chairs while Aaliyah argues with airline officials about refunding tickets. Court-appointed supervisors wait nearby to enforce the emergency custody order. Mommy, why can't we go home? Emma asks, her 3-year-old voice carrying exhaustion and confusion that breaks Marcus's heart. This is his daughter. This beautiful, intelligent little girl who inherited his eyes and her mother's strength deserves better than the chaos surrounding her young life. Ethan leans against his sister, sucking his thumb, a habit Marcus remembers from his own childhood photographs. The court supervisor approaches Marcus. "Mr. Blackwell, the judge has ordered supervised visitation beginning immediately. The children will stay with temporary foster care tonight while permanent arrangements are determined." Marcus kneels to his children's eye level for the first time. Emma studies his face with scientific curiosity, noting the matching blue eyes everyone keeps mentioning. Ethan peers around his sister, shy but interested in this tall stranger who makes grown-ups act differently. "Hi," Marcus says quietly. "I'm Marcus. I've been looking forward to meeting you both." Emma reaches out and touches his hand, her small fingers tracing the lines of his palm with gentle wonder. The emotional weight of this moment is overwhelming. Share this video if you believe every parent deserves to know their children. The court-approved visitation center feels nothing like the family environment Marcus envisioned for meeting his children. Neutral beige walls, institutional furniture, and supervising social workers create an atmosphere more suited to therapy than bonding. But Emma and Ethan transform the sterile space with their natural curiosity and innocent energy. "Your eyes look exactly like mine," Emma observes during their first official visit, standing close enough to Marcus that he can smell her strawberry shampoo. She holds up a small mirror from her toy purse, comparing their reflections with scientific precision that reminds him painfully of his own analytical nature. Ethan remains cautious, building elaborate block towers while stealing glances at this stranger who shares his distinctive chin cleft. When Marcus kneels to admire the 3-year-old's architectural creation, Ethan's shy smile reveals the same slightly crooked front tooth Marcus had at that age. "Daddy James never built blocks with us," Ethan whispers, his small confession carrying weight that devastates Marcus. 2 years of bedtime stories, scraped knee comfort, and proud parent moments stolen by Aaliyah's deception. The supervised visits follow strict schedules. 2 hours on Wednesdays, 4 hours on Saturdays, always with court-appointed observers taking notes about interaction quality and attachment development. Marcus learns his children's preferences through careful questions. Emma loves anything medical-related and wants to be a doctor like Mommy planned to be. Ethan enjoys puzzles and building games that challenge his developing spatial intelligence. During their 3rd visit, Emma brings a picture she drew at preschool. 2 stick figures with matching blue circles for eyes, holding hands under a rainbow. "This is you and me," she explains matter-of-factly, as if their relationship has always existed instead of being rebuilt from wreckage. Marcus frames the drawing and keeps it on his office desk, the first artwork from his children displayed in his billion-dollar empire's headquarters. Executive meetings pause when board members notice the amateur crayon masterpiece holding equal prominence with his company's achievement awards. Social worker Janet Mills observes their interactions with professional detachment, documenting every hug, conversation, and shared laugh for court reports that will determine their future. "The children show remarkable adaptability," she notes during one session. "They're forming healthy attachments despite the unusual circumstances." Aaliyah's supervised visits happen on different days, preventing any interaction between the adults while allowing the twins to maintain relationships with both parents. The children adapt to their new reality with resilience that amazes the professionals managing their case. "When can Marcus come to our house?" Emma asks during one of Aaliyah's visits, her innocent question highlighting how quickly she's accepted this new father figure. Aaliyah struggles to answer. The house isn't theirs anymore. A federal asset seizure took their home as evidence in the fraud investigation. Her criminal defense attorney warned that prison time becomes more likely as prosecutors build their conspiracy case. On Saturday afternoon, Ethan falls asleep against Marcus's shoulder while they read picture books about families and adventures. The weight of his son's small body, the trust implied in that vulnerable sleep, fills Marcus with fierce protective instincts he never knew existed. "Daddy Marcus," Ethan murmurs in his sleep, the first time either child has used them. The court supervisor makes a note in her file, documenting the moment when stolen children began reclaiming their real father. The FBI raid on Dr. Patricia Reynolds' medical practice unfolds like a carefully choreographed operation designed to expose years of systematic corruption. Federal agents execute search warrants simultaneously across 3 locations: her downtown clinic, suburban home, and storage facility containing falsified medical records for dozens of families. DR. Reynolds built her illegal empire by exploiting desperate parents in custody battles, charging $50,000 per falsified pregnancy loss, fertility report, or maternity test result. Her client list reads like a directory of Silicon Valley's messiest divorces, where tech money bought medical lies to manipulate court decisions. Marcus watches the news coverage from his office while his legal team celebrates this breakthrough in their case. Rebecca Chun calls with updates every hour as federal prosecutors reveal the scope of Reynolds' conspiracy. She kept detailed records of every falsified document, Rebecca reports. Aaliyah's case appears in her files with payment schedules, medical report drafts, and email communications planning the fake miscarriage. This is the smoking gun we needed. The media explosion around Reynolds' arrest shifts public opinion completely in Marcus's favor. Previous speculation about gold-digging ex-wives transforms into outrage about systematic fraud targeting wealthy fathers. Social media campaigns demanding justice for Marcus gain momentum as other victims of Reynolds' deception come forward. Tech industry leaders who initially remained neutral now publicly support Marcus. His company's stock price soars as investors view him as a sympathetic figure fighting systemic corruption rather than a distracted CEO managing personal drama. CNN broadcasts exclusive interviews with 3 other fathers who discovered Reynolds falsified their children's medical records during divorce proceedings. Their stories create a pattern of wealthy men being systematically defrauded through corrupted medical testimony that courts accepted without question. Aaliyah's criminal defense attorney calls with devastating news about her legal position. The federal prosecutors are offering plea deals to everyone in Reynolds' conspiracy network. Your best option is full cooperation and testimony against Reynolds in exchange for reduced charges. The FBI seized Aaliyah's remaining assets as proceeds from criminal activity: her car, jewelry, and what remained in her checking account after funding her failed escape attempt. She now lives in a studio apartment funded by court-appointed legal aid, while facing federal fraud charges that carry maximum sentences of 20 years in prison. Emma and Ethan notice their mother's increased anxiety during supervised visits. The confident woman who once managed their comfortable suburban life now appears fragile and frightened, unable to answer their questions about when they can go home or why everything changed so quickly. Mommy looks sad all the time now, Emma confides to Marcus during their Wednesday visit. She cries when she thinks we're not watching. Marcus feels no satisfaction in Aaliyah's suffering, only grief for his children who are learning that adults they trusted can lie about everything. The corruption that stole 2 years of his fatherhood has transformed into a criminal justice case that will likely send their mother to prison. Public vindication feels hollow when measured against his children's confusion and pain. The system that failed to protect his parental rights is now crushing the woman who exploited those failures, leaving Emma and Ethan caught between competing forms of adult justice that neither understands nor deserves. Aaliyah's public statement airs on every major network during prime time, her desperate attempt to control a narrative that has already destroyed her life. Sitting in her court-appointed attorney's office, she faces cameras with the composure of someone who has nothing left to lose. I was 19 years old, pregnant with twins, and terrified. She begins, her voice steady despite the trembling hands folded in her lap. Marcus Blackwell was a billionaire who lived in a world I couldn't understand. When our marriage fell apart, I made decisions based on fear, not greed. The interview strategy focuses on portraying her as a victim of circumstance rather than a calculating criminal. Her attorney coached her to emphasize youth, desperation, and maternal instinct while avoiding any admission of premeditated fraud. I never intended to hurt anyone. I thought I was protecting my children from a custody battle they couldn't understand, from a father who seemed more interested in his company than his family. She continues, tears forming as cameras capture every emotion. Marcus watches the broadcast from his penthouse. Emma and Ethan playing with new toys in his living room during their first unsupervised weekend visit. The twins don't recognize the broken woman on television as their strong, confident mother who once made them feel safe in their suburban sanctuary. Social media reactions split predictably along gender and class lines. Supporters view her as a desperate young mother driven to extremes by an impossible situation. Critics see calculated manipulation designed to gain sympathy and reduce her prison sentence. She's trying to rewrite history, Rebecca Chun observes during their viewing party. Classic defense strategy: admit minor wrongdoing to avoid major consequences. The most damaging moment comes when the interviewer asks about the falsified medical records. Aaliyah's pause stretches too long, her prepared answer sounding rehearsed and hollow. Dr. Reynolds assured me the documentation was medically accurate based on my emotional state and stress levels during the pregnancy. Emma looks up from her coloring book during this exchange. Why is that lady talking about doctors? She looks like mommy, but sadder. Marcus mutes the television, unable to let his children hear more lies about their origin story. They've endured enough adult deception for several lifetimes. The interview backfires spectacularly when Aaliyah claims Marcus abandoned her during the pregnancy, directly contradicting evidence that he begged for marriage counseling and offered to postpone business travel. Court documents show his desperate attempts to save their relationship while she secretly planned her deception. Within hours, Marcus's response statement circulates through his company's media channels. A mess. Thompson's attempt to justify stealing my children and defrauding me of $2 million insults every legitimate single mother who faces real hardship without resorting to criminal conspiracy. Aaliyah's own mother, Patricia Thompson, releases a statement disowning her daughter publicly. I raised Aaliyah to value honesty and integrity. Her actions shame our family and betray the values I tried to instill. Those children deserve better than the lies that created their lives. The final blow comes when James Morrison, her former boyfriend, agrees to a televised interview revealing how she manipulated him into believing he was supporting a widow and her children. His hurt and anger resonate with viewers who see themselves as potential victims of similar deception. 2 years of my life invested in children who weren't mine, supporting a woman who was stealing from their real father, Morrison states. She's a master manipulator who destroys everyone who trusts her. Public opinion solidifies against Aaliyah as her redemption attempt transforms into evidence of continued deception and manipulation. Marcus's penthouse transforms into a child-friendly fortress over the course of 3 weeks. Professional child-proofers install safety gates, outlet covers, and corner guards throughout the glass-walled space that once symbolized his bachelor success. The sterile minimalist design gives way to colorful toys, educational games, and the chaotic beauty of children claiming their space. Emma discovers Marcus's home office computer setup and begs to learn programming like Daddy does at work. Her 3-year-old fingers struggle with the keyboard, but her logical thinking impresses Marcus as she grasps basic coding concepts faster than some of his company's junior developers. If I tell the computer to draw a circle, it draws a circle, she explains to Ethan during their Saturday morning lesson. But if I tell it wrong, it draws something ugly. Ethan prefers Marcus's car collection, studying each vehicle with the focused intensity of a future engineer. His spatial reasoning skills emerge as he builds elaborate parking garages from blocks, organizing cars by color, size, and mechanical complexity. This one has the biggest engine, Ethan declares, pointing to Marcus's Ferrari. But this one is better for families, he adds, patting the Bentley's spacious interior. Bedtime routines establish themselves naturally as Marcus learns his children's preferences through trial and error. Emma wants medical stories, adventures of brave doctors saving patients through smart thinking and kind hearts. Ethan prefers engineering tales about building bridges, designing rockets, and solving mechanical puzzles. Tell the story about the doctor who fixed the broken robot. Emma requests during their third sleepover, snuggled against Marcus's shoulder while he reads from a tablet, displaying custom stories he writes during business meetings. These quiet moments feel more valuable than every billion-dollar deal Marcus has negotiated. His children's trust, freely given despite their traumatic introduction to his existence, humbles him in ways business success never could. Dr. Maria Santos observes their family sessions with growing satisfaction. The attachment formation is remarkable considering the disrupted circumstances. Emma and Ethan are developing healthy bonds with their father while maintaining protective love for their mother. The twins adapt to their new reality with resilience that amazes everyone involved in their case. They call Marcus Daddy Marcus and Aaliyah Mommy without confusion, understanding instinctively that love doesn't require choosing sides in adult conflicts they didn't create. Marcus installs an art gallery wall in his home office where Emma's medical drawings and Ethan's architectural blueprints receive equal prominence with his company's achievement awards. Board members comment on his improved focus and decision-making since gaining custody of his children. Fatherhood suits you, his CFO observes during a quarterly review meeting. Your strategic thinking has become more innovative since the twins started living here. Weekend mornings become sacred time when Marcus cooks breakfast while Emma and Ethan compete to set the table correctly. Their laughter fills spaces that echoed with loneliness for 2 years after his divorce. Daddy Marcus, when can we see Mommy again? Ethan asks during one such morning, his innocent question highlighting the complex emotions surrounding their fractured family. Marcus explains gently that Mommy has important grown-up things to handle, but they'll see her again soon during their special visits with Miss Janet watching. The healing has begun, but their journey toward wholeness will require patience, understanding, and more love than any of them knew they possessed. Judge Patricia Morrison's courtroom fills beyond capacity for the final custody hearing that will determine Emma and Ethan's future. Media representatives occupy every available seat. Sketch artists capture the drama of wealthy tech elite fighting over children whose lives began with systematic deception. Aaliyah enters wearing a simple navy dress borrowed from her court-appointed attorney. Her previous designer wardrobe seized as evidence in the federal fraud case. She moves with quiet dignity despite facing both criminal charges and losing her children. Her composure maintained through sheer willpower. Marcus sits at the plaintiff's table in his signature blue suit, flanked by Rebecca Chun and a child advocacy specialist. 3 months of intensive parenting classes, psychological evaluations, and supervised visits have prepared him for this moment when a stranger will decide his family's destiny. This case represents a profound violation of trust that extends beyond the immediate parties. Judge Morrison begins, her stern voice carrying the weight of a legal precedent. Ms. Thompson's actions constitute not merely fraud, but a systematic denial of parental rights that strikes at the foundation of family law. The judge reviews evidence methodically: falsified medical records, financial deception, conspiracy with corrupt medical professionals, and 2 years of stolen father-child relationships. Each revelation builds toward an inevitable conclusion that everyone in the courtroom already anticipates. Child psychologist Dr. Maria Santos testifies about the twins' remarkable adaptation to their biological father's presence. Emma and Ethan have formed healthy, secure attachments with Mr. Blackwell while maintaining appropriate emotional connections with their mother. They demonstrate resilience that suggests strong genetic predisposition to psychological stability. Social worker Janet Mills presents her comprehensive evaluation recommending primary custody for Marcus with supervised visitation rights for Aaliyah pending completion of her criminal proceedings. The children's best interests clearly align with placement in a stable, honest environment where their identity and heritage can be acknowledged truthfully. When given opportunity for final statements, Aaliyah rises with trembling composure. Your Honor, I accept full responsibility for my actions and their consequences. I ask only that you consider the welfare of Emma and Ethan, who love both their parents despite the circumstances that brought us here. Marcus's statement focuses entirely on his children's needs rather than personal vindication. I want Emma and Ethan to know the truth about their family while maintaining loving relationships with both parents. They deserve honesty, stability, and a chance to grow up without bearing responsibility for adult mistakes. Judge Morrison's decision arrives swiftly and decisively. Primary physical and legal custody is awarded to Mr. Marcus Blackwell, with supervised visitation rights granted to Ms. Aaliyah Thompson pending resolution of criminal charges. The court orders immediate repayment of fraudulent alimony totaling $1.8 million plus legal costs. Aaliyah's breakdown comes silently, tears flowing as she realizes the complete destruction of her scheme. 2 years of deception have cost her children freedom and any hope of the financial security she sought through fraud. Marcus feels no triumph in her suffering, only profound sadness that his children must witness their mother's disgrace. Emma and Ethan deserve better than the adult failures that created their complicated family situation. Justice has been served, but at what cost to everyone involved? What do you think should happen to Aaliyah? Outside the courthouse, Marcus carries his sleeping children to the car that will take them home permanently for the first time in their lives. The press conference takes place in Marcus's company headquarters, a deliberate choice that symbolizes his return to public life with his children by his side. Emma and Ethan sit quietly in child-sized chairs flanked by their father's executive team, their matching blue eyes wide with curiosity about the cameras and reporters filling the conference room. 3 months ago, I discovered that my greatest loss was actually my greatest blessing hidden by criminal deception. Marcus begins, his voice steady despite the emotional weight of public disclosure. Today, I want to introduce you to Emma and Ethan Blackwell, my children who should never have been strangers to their father. The twins wave shyly at the cameras, Emma whispering something to Ethan that makes him giggle softly. Their innocent presence transforms what could have been a vindictive press event into something more meaningful, a father's celebration of recovered family. Marcus announces the creation of the Hidden Children Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to preventing custody fraud and supporting fathers whose parental rights have been systematically denied. We will fund mandatory DNA verification in contested custody cases, provide legal support for defrauded parents, and work to close loopholes that allow medical professionals to falsify family records. The foundation's initial endowment of $50 million represents Marcus's commitment to preventing other families from experiencing similar devastation. Board members include prominent family law attorneys, child psychologists, and fathers who've successfully fought custody fraud cases. No parent should endure 2 years of grief over children who are never lost, Marcus states, his hand resting gently on Emma's shoulder as she colors quietly during the adult discussion. No child should grow up not knowing their biological parents because someone chose money over truth. Reporter questions focus on Aaliyah's upcoming criminal trial and Marcus's feelings about her potential imprisonment. His responses demonstrate remarkable restraint considering the personal cost of her deception. Ms. Thompson made choices that hurt everyone involved, including herself. I hope she receives appropriate consequences while getting help to understand the impact of her actions. Emma and Ethan need their mother to become someone worthy of their love. The most powerful moment comes when a reporter asks Emma what she wants people to know about her family. The 3-year-old looks seriously at the cameras and declares, "Daddy Marcus reads good stories and makes pancakes shaped like hearts. Mom Mommy used to read stories too, but now she's sad and can't live with us. Her innocent honesty captures the human cost of adult deception better than any legal argument or media analysis. Children see the world simply. They want their parents to love them without lies complicating that basic need. Marcus's father, William Blackwell, appears publicly with his grandchildren for the first time since learning of their existence. The elderly man's joy at discovering family he never knew existed provides a touching counterpoint to the legal drama surrounding their reunion. These children represent hope for our family's future, William states, Emma holding his hand with the unself-conscious affection that makes adults remember what matters most. They've transformed a story of betrayal into a celebration of resilience and love. The press conference ends with Marcus announcing his company's new family-friendly policies, including extended paternal leave and childcare facilities, inspired by his own experience of delayed fatherhood. Emma and Ethan leave the conference room holding their father's hands, unaware that their story will inspire legislative changes protecting other families from similar deception. 6 months later, Marcus stands in his children's bedroom doorway, watching Emma read a medical journal picture book to Ethan before bedtime. Her advanced vocabulary impresses everyone who meets her, while his patient attention to her explanations reveals the engineer's mind he inherited from his father. The bedroom represents everything Marcus missed during their first 3 years. Growth charts marking height changes, artwork covering walls, toys scattered with the comfortable chaos of children who know their home permanently. Emma's corner features a play medical station where she performs surgery on stuffed animals. Ethan's area showcases elaborate building projects that grow more complex each week. Daddy Marcus, will Mommy come to my birthday party next week? Emma asks during their bedtime routine, her question highlighting the complicated emotions surrounding their fractured family. Aaliyah's supervised visits continue twice weekly while she serves a reduced sentence through community service and court-ordered therapy. Her plea bargain resulted in probation rather than prison time, allowing maintained contact with Emma and Ethan while she works to understand the psychological factors that drove her deception. Mommy is learning how to make better choices, Marcus explains gently, tucking covers around his daughter's small frame. She loves you very much, but sometimes adults need time to figure out how to love people in healthy ways. The twins accept their complicated family structure with the adaptability that makes children remarkable. They love both parents without requiring those adults to reconcile their differences. Emma and Ethan understand instinctively that family can exist in multiple forms without losing its essential meaning. Dr. Maria Santos continues family therapy sessions that help everyone process the emotional aftermath of systematic deception. The children show no signs of attachment disorders despite their traumatic introduction to their father. They've developed secure relationships with both parents while maintaining appropriate boundaries. Marcus's relationship with pediatric therapist Dr. Santos has evolved into something deeper than professional consultation. Her genuine care for Emma and Ethan, combined with her understanding of their unique family challenges, created the foundation for romantic connection neither expected. Are you going to marry Miss Maria? Ethan asks with 3-year-old directness during one of their Saturday morning pancake sessions. She makes you smile the way Mommy used to make Daddy James smile. The Autumn Charity Gala, where Marcus first met Aaliyah 4 years ago, provides the setting for their family's public reappearance as a united front. Emma wears a coral dress chosen specifically to honor her mother's favorite color, while Ethan sports a miniature tuxedo that matches Marcus's formal attire. The photograph that ends their evening shows 3 generations of Blackwells. Marcus, his father William, and the twins standing together in the same ballroom where deception once destroyed a family. Emma's confident smile and Ethan's protective stance beside his sister capture the resilience that defines their new beginning. This incredible true story shows us that sometimes the greatest betrayals lead to the most precious discoveries. If this story moved you, please subscribe for more real-life stories that will change how you see the world. What other stories would you like me to tell? Let me know in the comments below. Their journey from deception to healing proves that truth, however painful, provides the only foundation strong enough to support lasting family bonds.